What's up, everybody? Good morning. Our guest is already making noise in the background. How's it going, Billy? Sorry for the little bit of a delay, but we're good. How's it going, Billy? Episode 151, Jump Street Podcast.
Good,
We're here.
good.
Oh, my glasses
Episode
are on.
one.
No one told me my glasses were on.
I was just about to say
I
something
look like a
about
Poindexter over here.
those look like some spy glasses. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can click them and like something happens. You know,
They're like
what
the
I mean?
ones
They
with the
look like-
cameras in them. Like I'm recording
they look
everything.
like some Apple functional glasses. But
I was trying to film some
welcome.
behind the scenes with those.
Yeah, it looks like. Remember like the ones that when you were a kid they had like the little mirrors in the side.
Yeah, so you can see behind you.
Behind you. Those are like super. They were selling those like spy glasses. They were really
You get those at like
really fun.
Wildwood when you get the arcade and you redeem your tickets. You get this pair of spy glasses and a lollipop.
Yeah, it's just like aluminum foil and the side of the thing. It's like barely in here. Word. Okay, everyone, welcome to episode 151. 151 with Justin Brasco. Very excited to get into this. Justin, as you know, has been active in the rollerblading community for years. OG New York. He just dropped a new part that he's been working on with Butter TV for like, I don't know, I think like 9 months to a year now at least. We'll get into it. But before we do, I want to give my spiel. Please, if you don't already, follow us on all of our social media platforms. We have a Facebook. You can give us a like. We have an Instagram. You could follow us. We have a YouTube account. You can subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like what you're hearing. Comment, share, all that stuff really helps us, boost us up the algorithm. We have an iTunes. You can give us a 5-star rating if you like what you're listening to, and you could also give us a review. And we have a Patreon. You can be a Patreon for as little as $3 a month. We have some Patreon stuff lined up that we got into last week. I'm finishing up some more today. So we got a bunch of more content coming out for you. And we do our section reviews with some of our guests. We're doing one today with Justin. And when you become a Patreon, you are automatically entered to win something from our online store. One time a month, we do a free drawing, and you could win a hat, you could win a shirt, you could win a hoodie, you could win a mug. So yeah, please, if you like what you're listening to, please consider becoming a Patreon. We very much appreciate it. We've been running this show for over 5 years now, and
Over 5 years.
And we love to do it. And so if you feel inclined to support the show, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, snap. Good spiel, Billy. And I just realized, okay, well, I'll do this on the fly. I want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. This week, we have Snowhio and Joel Norman. So thank you both so much for supporting the channel. And we have a WTF this week that I thought I had logged in here, but I don't. So I am going to quickly drag and drop this in here. And it is brought to us. Who knows what this is going to look like right now, because I haven't even seen it yet the way it's in there, but I'll adjust it as we go. Our WTF this week is brought to us by Patreon supporter Paul Moliere, and we have a regular for this week. We have Jimmy Sizz, a.k.a. Roller Street Miami on Instagram, and, oh, it looks good. Holla. All right, cool. We have a negative.
What do we have?
Okay, so straight up, I'm going to preface this first because you sent me this and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then I knew it looked familiar. And Jimmy actually posted a reel a few weeks ago where he posted the 5 tricks that he invented in rollerblading. And this was one of them. And it was the only one where he didn't have an actual name for it. So I didn't get into the comments to see if anybody posted like what they suggested it would be. But he's pretty much going forward negative on the right foot and alley topside on the left foot. So it's like an open book. Negative and top side, if that makes any sense. But
yeah, good luck trying to name that. I don't know.
Good luck trying to do that. Jeez.
Yeah, good luck trying to do that. Good luck trying to name that. Good luck.
And it's clean as hell too. Both are completely flat too. There's no toe, there's no tough, there's no rough going on.
Yeah, I like that he slowed it down.
Yeah, it shows like how perfect it was too.
Yeah.
But yeah, hell yeah. Shout out, Jimmy. That was awesome. Thanks for being a regular on the show. Thanks for constantly giving us content. Give him a follow on Instagram if you don't already at Roller Street Miami on Instagram. Billy, you want to get to one more thing?
Yeah, I would like to say that at Heavy Distribution at Disroyal with Mesmer, we are about to kick off our Black Friday sales starting tomorrow, and it will extend through the entire month of November. We have bundle deals, buy one, get ones. We have full setups, completes on discount, and we have other deals up to 25% off. So if you're interested in getting some stocking stuffers, if you're interested in trying some new skates, new setups, Now is the time. We got a sale starting from tomorrow that will extend for the entire month of November. So check that out. We got some really cool things. We spent some time working on it and putting it together. So we got some pretty cool deals in there. So worth giving a look. So that starts tomorrow.
Those new team skates, though. Them's is fire.
I gotta say,
them's is fire.
I mean, Joey just from mushroom blading, and I'm not trying to like, you know, toot my own because I'm not really designing the skates. I'm just putting input and Mark and everyone's helping design the skates, Pablo. But Joey McGarry put up like a true topsole post, like I think today with the skating, the Mesmer skates. He put the yellow laces in. And it just looks like that quintessential like 90s styling vibe, like in the skates, like obviously like reminiscent of like the old Arlos. So I was pumped. I saw it and I was like, damn, those are good, you know?
Joey speaks very highly about the Mesmer skates. I believe that's his favorite skate, according to all the stuff he posts on Patreon, because he's very active on the Mushroom Blading Patreon, especially with his setups. And he's been posting a lot about the Mesmers lately. So he has nothing but good things to say about them. He's loving them.
I was pumped to see them because those guys, you know, they are like harsh critics when they want to be. So like to get any like sort of good review from them, I just like am very happy to receive that. So huge shout out to the Mushroom Blading guys. And all right, are we ready to get in with our guest? Hold on, I might have to ask 1 sec. This is a Jump Street first. Corey, can you do me a favor? Can you like fill up that water? I forgot to bring my water.
Oh, we gotta have the water. Got to stay hydrated during this episode.
If I'm going to talk for like an hour, I need like to...
Definitely. It's all good. He gave our guests a time to do a few more crunches in before we started the show. So
perfect.
If everybody give it up for our guest today, Mr. Justin Brasco. Where are we at? There we are.
Look at him.
He's got his lemon water too. We don't hear
prepared.
You. It says you muted yourself again. Did you hit any kind of mute button? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is good.
All right, we're back. Welcome, Justin. Thank you for coming. Thank you for taking time out of your busy Coachella tour schedule to join us.
You're welcome. I'll be okay.
Is Coachella coming up, or is that's not?
I haven't been to Coachella in 10 years. I don't know. What
you haven't been to Coachella in like 3 weeks. What are you talking about?
I went like 10 years ago.
We didn't.
It's never been able to like you've never been able to leave the label behind.
Isn't that what happens when you go to Coachella? You're just always at Coachella.
I'm still there. I'm still there. Yeah, that's the problem, you know. You can't
All right.
Well, Justin, I gotta say, this has been a long time coming. We've been talking about having you on the show for a while now, but I think like the idea was always, when the part comes out, we'll have you on. Congrats on the part release, by the way. It was awesome.
Thank you.
So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into a bunch of other things, but you know, I think Austin and I, you know, we've taken a lot of trips together. We've spent some time together. We know each other pretty intimately, but I don't know about everyone else. Could you share like your introduction into skating? Because I know you come from like the '90s era, and like, how did you first get into skating? What's your come up story?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I'm just turned 40, so I'm old.
Happy birthday!
Oh, I thank you. As well as you.
Wait. Oh yeah. When was your birthday?
My birthday was Monday. No, Monday. What day is today? No, last Monday. My birthday was last.
I was about to say, okay, yeah. I did wish you happy birthday in the group chat. That's right.
You did.
Okay.
One of the group chats. Yes, correct. I started out like just when I was young. I was playing baseball, and then I got hurt playing baseball, and I was too small for football, too small for basketball. And then, I started playing, hockey. Everyone starts like the same way. Like I got rollerblades. I started playing hockey. It was the 90s. And then my neighbors were all like skateboarders at the time. And like, they were cool. They were hanging out with chicks, smoking pot, doing their thing. And then I just started, jumping over my parents' chairs, and I would, hit the plastic chairs. I'd fly through them. I'd break the chairs. I'd get, impaled. And then at the time, everyone was skating, especially in Brooklyn. Like everyone was like in the 90s was rollerblading. And then I just started like that, and then moved to Long Island. I kept skating. Everyone skated here, and just started connecting with people, and that's it. Just kept doing it, and I don't really want to stop doing it, honestly.
I think a lot of people don't know that you are, you're from Canarsie. I didn't know you started. I wasn't sure if you started skating in Brooklyn or Long Island, but you started in Brooklyn.
I started in Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay, so this is one of a lot of people ask, but you and Ariel are some of the few Bodega Boys from Brooklyn, and that's where you guys started skating. So that's legit. We just got to legitimize it real quick. Let
Yes,
that
it's
be known.
legit. It's legit. It's not like I came from Brooklyn when I was like 2 years old. You know what I mean? You got those people that are like, "Oh, I'm from Brooklyn." I was born in the hospital in Brooklyn because my parents were headed home to Long Island, so I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
It's the same story with Staten Island too. That's my story, but I don't tell it like that. But yeah, that's my story.
Yeah.
I'm born in Brooklyn, but I don't say I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. Like, oh, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Queens, and yeah, I did a pre-K there, and then that's about it. No, like I was born in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. I started skating in Brooklyn. Went to Cropsey Park with everybody. Cropsey Park was like the hub. Back in the day, everyone went to Cropsey Park, and which I think they just took the rail out, and I think they just demolished it, but or like they just redid the park. But yeah, that's where everyone started skating.
Yeah, that is a big thing. I would imagine a bit more in Long Island because it's so big and much further from the city. But even in Staten Island, everyone's like, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Manhattan. Like if they're like born there, or like spend a few days, maybe even a few years up to like 4 or 5 years old. And by the time it came to like going to school, they were like, all right, we can't have our kid going to school in Brooklyn. We got to move to Staten Island. Yeah. And then all those kids are like are very Brooklyn claimy. But that's cool.
Listen, I'll talk a lot about like Long Island. I make fun of it all the time, obviously. But if I didn't move to Long Island, I wouldn't have. Coincidentally, my parents moved to North Massapequa, and there was a school one town over, which was only 1 block over. And for whatever reason, that school was like an international skate spot. Like I've met so many people there, people from Brazil. I met everybody. I met Dustin there. I met Mike there, Bashi there. Like I met everybody there. I might have met you there, Billy. I don't remember.
What school was this in Massapequa?
It was called Packard. It was like
Todd Packard.
It was like Todd Packer.
Down rails, like red down rails.
No. It was like the school had like a what's it called? Just like a middle portion, right? Like you would like go like around the back, and like there was like a middle inside.
Like a courtyard.
Courtyard, yeah, that's it. Courtyard Marriott. And
big words.
They had like a 5-stair, a 7-stair, like a huge long ledge. There was like a kink rail. There was a bunch of stuff there, but the ledges were insane. Like on any given day, there'd be like, 20, 30 people there, even like on a regular school day. So it was always slammed. And I met so many people there, and I think that's kind of, I would go there skate by myself. It was 1 block away, like straight up 1 block from my house. But I met everybody there, randomly,
Yeah, I feel like Long Island, especially back in that era too, had like a pretty strong skate scene. Like when I met you, you were in Massapequa. And we must have met around, I think, 16 years old, close to that age range. So I guess you must have moved to like Long Island, 13, something like that, 12, 13?
No, so I was in 14? It was either like 10th or 11th grade. So whenever that is.
Okay. Oh, you were going to, so what you went to? You went to Madison? I
went to Murrow.
You went to Murrow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay. See, when I met you, you were already in Long Island. So when you're like, this is harsh, especially from Staten Island saying this, because you get some smoke for it, but there's people in the 5 boroughs and there's people who's not. So when I first met you, I was like, oh, those are Long Island. That's a Long Island guy. Like, you, the Buckleys, Mike Fisher, Dave Barrett. Like there was Dave.
Oh, not Dave Barrett. He's
not Dave Barrett. The other Dave. There's another kid, Dave. I'm tripping out, but
Dave
Pollock, right?
Pollock?
Yeah, something like that. And I said Pollock.
You're racist.
And no, and Dustin Holleran. I think it's Pollock. I don't know, but and Dustin Holleran. Yeah. So, but yeah, I remember like you guys like meeting at 516, skating from back in the day, and like there was like a really strong crew in Long Island.
Yeah.
So yeah. What was that like? Didn't you also skate from John Bound to home one day?
I was going to get to that.
We don't wait to talk about that.
Yes, we do.
Okay. But what was that like coming in from Long Island, like the sessions, like back in the day, like meeting everyone in the city and kind of like coming up that way?
Well, yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, like the Buckleys. Meeting the Buckleys was great because, and whoever doesn't know, it's like there were these 2 twins, super rich, and they had like a legit like half pipe at their house, like on the water, like sick house. And we would just skate the half pipe. They had like rails, they had everything, and we would just meet up at this house. And their parents owned a really relevant and like big like Irish bar in the neighborhood. So the parents were never home. They were like running a bar. So these kids, like these like young like 13-year-old kids, ran a like a
They
skate
were
man.
nuts.
Oh, these kids were nuts, and it was like the bad kid house. Like you'd show up to the house, everyone's smoking. There's like music on, and it's in like a gated, like nice community with like a half pipe, and everyone's like going nuts. And we would just meet there and skate and like train there, and then like head into the city. And then everyone was like pretty good, and we would skate with like 10, 15 people. Like it was a good like solid crew. It was sick back in the day in Long Island. Like as much as I like make fun of it, and I still will after this podcast, I'll always make fun of it. But it was pretty sick skating here, back then. It was a good crew.
I never heard of these Buckleys.
They were like nuts. They were like identical twins. Okay, and I think that they were. I'm going to be wrong about this, but I think that from when they were born to like 2 years old, they were the twins. Well, no, they were like the baby on Days of Our Lives, like the soap opera. And like that's how they had like a lot of money because of that too. Because I guess like because there was two of them, they could like swap out the kids. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like when one was tired, they throw the other one in. Just like fucking. And then so they did that, and they were just awesome. I don't know where they are now, but
I think they ended up going to Colorado and like doing snowboarding. I spoke to them not too long ago, but they're like I think part of like
one did, right? One did, or something.
Yes, one of them.
Yeah. But yeah, they were cool.
But yeah, Long Island is kind of far. It's not easy to get from Long Island to the city, obviously, like within the 5 boroughs. Like at least even we're from Staten Island, we had all the trains and the ferries and everything like that. But like you had like expensive ass trains and whatever.
Yeah.
Was that why you used to skate to John Bound from Massapequa? Which for people who don't know, it's like 20 miles. I don't know how far that is.
That was it was one of those things where we were filming for something, okay, or whatever. I don't remember. And I had Shima 1s at the time that I kind of like. Yeah, did I have Shima 1s? I had something like that. And I got picked up from like school, right? So whatever it was, right? Like I made sure like I was free, right? And I got picked up by whoever, and we drove to Queens. And let's say it took 40 minutes. Okay, we get there, and it was one of those like. I know better. Everyone's like, oh, why don't you warm up? We'll start filming. I'm like, no, I know what I'm doing. I skate John Baum all the time. Whatever. I'll warm up doing True Porn Star. No problem. And like, why don't you Royale it, solo it? I'm like, no, I'm here. I'm on a mission. Like, just let's film this stuff. I got things to do. No problem. So it's like, I warmed up like True Porn Star basically. And I, one time I, came close. Second try in, I hit my shin, and my shin just like explodes. Like it's so swollen, and I just start going nuts. Like, smashing my skates. I'm taking them off. I'm throwing them up against the wall. I'm throwing them down the stairs. I'm like missing a buckle. The cuff bolt flies out. Like it's a disaster. The liner's all over the place. And then I really like ruined the session. Like the vibe is over. So I think someone said to me like, hey, why don't you take it easy? And I'm like, why don't I take it easy? What are you kidding me? Why don't you take it easy? I'm like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Whatever. I put my skates together and I just took off. Like I'm flying down Main Street, like, and I don't even know where I'm going. Right? Like I'm just flying down Main Street, and I'm like passing all the restaurants, I'm passing all the stores, and then I just like turn down the hill, so I'm basically like adjacent to the LIE, and I'm like all pissed off, and then finally I'm like, all right, where's my wallet, my phone? I'm like my keys. I'm like, where's my little Nokia? I'm like, this sucks right now. I'm like, but I can't go back because I already left. Like I look like an idiot. Back, you know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, I don't know what to do. It's like 3:30, and I'm like, I'll just go home. I was like, I guess go home. And I don't know how to get home at the time. I'm like probably under 20 or maybe 20, whatever it is. And I'm like, all right, I'll just skate home. But the only way I know how to get home is like the LIE. So I just skated on the LIE. Like, and there's times where it merges onto the LIE. So I'm just like on the side road. Now I'm on the LIE. There's like cars going like 90 flying past me. And I'm like dehydrated, and I'm like trying to like pull off into a store and like beg someone for like water or whatever it was. And I think it took me like, I don't know, like 5 hours or 8 hours, something like that. Like some stupid like amount. Stupid. And my skates are broken at the time. I had like the buckle was broken. The skates are mangled,
Oh my God. I love that story about you because it's so like knowing like how you live now and how you can be these days, like traveling and all this stuff, like picturing you skating down like the shoulder of the LIE. Oh yeah. Deep into Long Island.
Yeah.
Very now it's interesting.
Yeah, I won't go skate Miami unless it's like first class, but this was okay. Be shirtless, covered in dirt, skating home 8 hours, by myself, and I refuse to, pay for anything.
Yeah. Now you won't fly coach. This shit, it's crazy.
Oh, I won't fly coach. Absolutely not. Not even. I'll still do the whole, like, we can pack out a room. We can do like, 10, 15 of us in a room. I'm fine with that, but I'm flying first class down to this spot. No problem.
All right, so I feel like we got to get into like some stories, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to unveil these. But so we skated. Let's get into some of the early days sections, and then we'll get into like some of the tours that you took with Welland and some of the English guys, and that would be cool to get into like the relationship that developed between you and the Rochester guys as well. But before we get into that, let's talk about like your first sections. So for me, like, I don't know, I feel like your trajectory in skating is pretty interesting, because at the time in like 99, 2000, 2001, like you were up there with like one of the best people. I remember seeing like your tricks in like high density, like true spin frontside alley-oop unities on John Bound when like nobody was legitimately doing that trick, or true front Savannah, whatever you want to call it. But you've always like skated at this super high level. So what was it like to have that opportunity to skate with everyone during that time, and like that super high talented period in New York, and be able to film for sections with people like Billy Schoen and Angel Bahana?
Well, so at the time, during that time, I wasn't like, I'd come out, but I didn't really go to like those sessions a lot, right? So it was like the reverse. I never had a section in Live from New York with Billy. I don't even think I was in. Maybe I was. I don't remember. I know I was in like high density. I don't know if I was in Live from New York, to be honest with you. So when I would go out, like, it was not to say rare, but if I had an opportunity to skate with everybody, like, not that I was intimidated, but I almost wanted to like make sure like it was known that I was there. And again, I'm skating with like the best. I'm skating with you, Dustin, Mike, Bashi. Like, I'm skating with all these people, and it's very intimidating. And I wanted to make sure like I could do something good. So I would try and always like one up myself in a sense, just to stand out at the session. But it was tough skating with everybody. Yeah, like everyone was ridiculous at the time. Like New York was insane. What people were doing was nuts.
My cat hit the button and switched over. My bad.
Yeah, I saw
that. New York was nuts at the time. I know what you mean. Like, you felt like you had to really, like, in order to be seen, you had to go like pretty hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you were, I don't know, you were definitely, I don't know. I feel like there was so much talent then, but like when you look back just at it, it was just like, your skating was just like super strong for back then. So I guess, what was your ambition during the time with skating? Was it like you were trying to go pro, or were you just trying to be a part of the community? Were you trying to like, what was the goal?
I mean, I guess it's been the same forever. I just really I love skating. Like and it's always like a pushing myself, that even now, like, like we have in like a group chat, and like we always talk about it. Like, we're filming for a video right now, and I just want to always like do better. And I've always I didn't necessarily want to go pro. Like, I never really, because, I always realize that there's nothing financially that's going to happen, right? So it's like, if there's no financial aspect to it, what was the goal, right? So if the goal was just to go out with your buddies, like, have a good time, impress yourself, impress your friends, and be able to, push everything, like push the sport. That was really it. Like, I never really wanted to, like, go anywhere with. I just wanted to be really good. I just wanted to be in videos and be good at, at skating. And I thought it was always something where you can push yourself, and being around all these people, it was pretty easy, because like, even if you, wanted to like, keep it calm, everyone was going nuts. So it's like, you almost had to go crazier than them, but yeah, I loved growing up in New York, skating in New York.
Yeah. How did the relationship begin to develop with the guys from Rochester?
I think that was you,
me?
Austin. Yeah.
Was it that? I think me, you, and Neil took a trip to Rochester for some reason. How did we even do that?
Well,
I didn't even know Torres then. I actually spoke with Torres about this the other day, how we first met. And I remember we were in Rochester. I think it was maybe that trip. And I don't know who we knew. We just drove up to Rochester somehow.
No. I think, no, I should know this, but I think you knew you knew Torres first, okay, and I think that we went up there, like you set it up, I believe, and then you set it up, and then I met everybody up there, and I think Neil did come with us the first time, because there was a bunch of times, because there were times where we went up there just to Rochester, then times where we were going to Bitter Cold, and we were driving through, so there was times we went to Rochester. I'm waiting for the text. Everyone's like, "You're an idiot." I'm like waiting.
I actually, as I was saying that, I think it was I met Torres during one of like the Narmobile trips with like Sean Money and Jay Cottrell and stuff like that.
Okay,
and then I think we were going to Arizona, and then we brought you along.
No, this is before Arizona.
I have no idea then.
Yeah, this is.
What was it? Because you did a trip to Miami with Sean Money, so was it that?
Yeah, it might have been that trip because we drove from Miami to Toronto and then hit up Rochester on the way back. And maybe somebody knew. Yeah, maybe on that trip we met Torres and Tim Adams and Grant and those guys on that trip, and then. But yeah, that formed. You're welcome for introducing you, by the way, Justin.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
To your future roommate and business owner with Bodega Boys and crew member.
Yes.
Bestie Biffle.
Yeah, I mean it's like a relationship that seems to have started a long time ago and has like gone all the way up into like a strong friendship today, and now like into the Bodega Boys. So it's interesting to think about like how that all started. You guys all took, I think the first trip you guys took together, was that the trip in the limo? By the way, I was thinking about, I don't know if I'm going to mention it, but I was thinking about trips we did and some of the stories along that when like Austin mentioned Neil and staying at Jeff Dalmas's house. Maybe we can get into some. I don't know if we should mention it. But let's get into like the,
maybe we skip that one.
Maybe that'll be for the Patreon.
That sucks too, because that's one of the best stories ever, but it is a little intense.
It's one of those stories where, listen, there's nothing wrong. You know, we could easily tell it, but it's almost like
it's vulgar.
It's vulgar, but it's one of those like you think it's going somewhere and then it goes somewhere else, but it doesn't go somewhere that's necessarily good, right? So it's like depending upon who's listening. Okay, it could be like one of those, and everyone already thinks I'm going to get in trouble on this thing anyway, right? So it's like,
okay, all right, so maybe
I'd rather we could avoid that one anyway. All right.
Okay, if anyone wants to hear that story, ask it in person, maybe.
Yeah, or if you see me, you could ask me. Depending on what state I'm in, you could ask me, and I'll tell you this.
You're gonna need like a half hour at least.
Minimal.
I think Jessica banging out like 5 minutes the way he talks, but
yeah.
Okay, so
you guys have closed captions, right? There's the closed captions when I'm talking.
It doesn't understand whatever accent you have, though.
Okay.
So what was the first tour in the white limo?
Stretch tour?
Well, I think Arizona was before. Was it? Was Arizona before?
Yeah, it was before.
Yeah, Arizona was before. So we started doing like the Arizona trip. It's kind of like, if I remember correctly, I kind of like stopped. Like I didn't stop skating, but I like wasn't skating as much. And then Austin kind of like got me back in a sense. Like there was like a point where
it was during the Truth days.
I would say, yeah, maybe right before that is kind of when I was like, I didn't really know what to do skating wise. Like I kind of hit a point where things were happening in my life and things were happening just.
What were you doing? Were you getting into like the Long Island club culture? Like what was?
I think it was
popping collars.
No, it was just one of those like you don't know where you are. Like I'm like growing up, I'm getting older. Like I didn't know where I fit in at the time, you know. Yeah. And then I finally was like, I really want to start skating to a point where I want to like impress myself. I wasn't impressing myself, right? Like I wasn't impressing anybody at the time. I was just kind of doing like standard stuff. I would sweat stance everything. I would just throw like the trick that I can do, and then that was it, right? So it was kind of like boring, and I was boring myself almost. And then I met Austin, and then we started skating more, and then it was like, Oil City sessions, and then going to the city and stuff like that. And then that's kind of when I met everybody, and we went to Arizona. That's when I was like, oh, this is like a lot of fun. Like we can travel, we can do this, new spots, new stuff. And then I started to kind of, get back into it. And that's kind of what, took me off into really, loving it again, like making myself happy again. And I would say that was like the push. I think that was the question, right? That we were. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then, so I guess the first trips with the Rochester guys, I guess that you said it started in Arizona. and then taking Arizona trips together, which is probably something like the New Yorkers would do like during the winter. They find a warm place to skate, like during like, December, January, February. Arizona is always a good and cheap place. And sometimes people go to Puerto Rico, Florida, but you guys were going to Arizona. And then like somewhere along the way, there was the idea to do the white limo tour. So who spearheaded that idea? Like who was involved? I know you guys, I'm pretty sure you drove across the entire country. And what was that whole thing about?
So that was Torres, and then that was Torres and Dan. They were the ones that, because Dan was living in Rochester for a little period of time, met Torres, and they went back to England, came back. They set it up. I think Torres bought the limo for like, $1,200 or something like that. And it was like a 1980s, like wood paneling VCR with like a DVD stuck in there kind of thing where
had the boomerang on the back, like for the antenna.
Yeah. I had an antenna that I ended up, the thing blew up because of me. And then they basically drove from Rochester, stopped at my house. And it was one of those things where, and you can't even like make this up, they were driving from Rochester, and I think like the muffler had blown out, and I had never met these like English guys before, and they pull up to my house, and you got to think like, my parents are, normal parents, and like, like a neighborhood, and like this limo comes barreling down the block, like comes up into like the driveway, and it's like a bunch of guys from England, and everyone comes out like eating beans. Like everyone's eating. Like,
they're like, right, mate, right.
No. They're eating cans of beans because they need the cans to make a muffler. They're not eating beans because like they're from England.
I thought this was like a UK. Like
no. It's like a fish and chips copy. Like they needed the cans to like make like a muffler, and then like they made a muffler, and they're fixing stuff, and there's like oil spilling on the floor, and then from there we took off. But I didn't do the whole trip, so I did from. We went to New York, then we went to Philly. I had to go back home and like work and stuff, and then I eventually met back up with them after I waited till they had all their problems, because they had a bunch of problems. They broke down in Texas. They were stuck in Texas, and then everything else. So once they got mobile again, I jumped back on, and then I did like a portion of it, and then we ended up we made it to they made it. We all made it to California, but I didn't make it straight through. Right, like I would jump on and off, And then we ended up, it went on fire in Northern California. for unknown reasons. There's no, who knows why. I mean, some people blame me. I don't blame me. I don't think it was me.
What did you do?
I'm just very fidgety, right? So I think we were pulled over on the side of the road, and we were just talking, and I'm just like fidgeting, and I'm just like, playing with stuff. And they had the antenna, like, like the old school where like you would hit the radio and like the antenna would come out, and it would go back in when, you didn't have the radio on. So I was just kind of like playing with it. Like I was like, just kind of turning it, like just, playing with it while we're talking. Like, hey, what's going on? I'm playing with it. I'm like, all right, let's get back in the car. Let's get out of here. So then we got back in the car and we started driving. And, we're sitting in the back. Someone's driving in the front. The partition's up, the partition. And finally, like, the car just gets like engulfed in like black smoke. Like there's black smoke. We can't breathe. We had to pull over on the side of the freeway. And then no one knows what's going on. Like no one can see anything. Everyone's coughing. And then like you pop open the trunk and like everything's on fire. And then coincidentally, it looks like the fire may have started at like the mechanism that handled the antenna. I think it could easily have been a coincidence. Maybe there was like a fire there too. Who knows? But it seems like it happened there, and they're pulling out like flaming bags, like all our bags are on fire, whatever it is.
No.
Yeah, and I forgot how we got off the road, but then we got off the road, or maybe we had pulled off at the time.
We lost him. Mid-story, we lost him. Look at him. He's getting so into it, you see his veins popping out of his neck. Hold on.
So how does this work?
Here we go.
Okay, got him back.
We don't hear you, though. We don't hear you. Hold on. There's two of you here. Again, what's going on with your thing?
Everything in the world. I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay, continue.
You're calling in again. How's this possible?
Yeah,
okay, go.
I have everything here. Okay. It says the web page is using.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
I'm good. So we pulled everything out, and then we just waited on the side of the road for a tow truck to come. And I think Torres got like $200 or like $100 for like a whole limo, basically. Like they gave him $100, and we just went on from there, and that was it. And we were stuck in California.
My favorite part of that tour story, I guess, I think from what I can remember was that Grant was like had a weekend with you guys to meet you in Texas, and he flew there. He was the only one who knew anything about cars.
Yeah,
So he ended up flying to Texas, came just in time to fix the car, spent the whole weekend fixing the car, and by the time he had to fly back, the car was done, and he didn't get to skate, and all he did was fly out to Texas, fix the car, and flew back home.
Yeah, I don't
was
know.
like,
I don't
"That
even know
sucks."
if he skated. I don't know if he. Even
Yeah, I don't think he did. That's what I remember.
He's always like there to like fix problems. You know what I mean? Or he would always like handle things. So like he handled it, and I think that was it. Then he went home. You know. Yeah, I feel bad about
Grant?
it.
Yeah, Grant
Grant,
Hazelton.
Yeah. He knows like everything about cars. Like he could like rebuild the whole car. You know. So he just flew out there. You know, maybe brought some beans, whatever the hell it was, and fixed the car. It was great.
You're like, hey, if you guys break down, just use these with the can.
Yeah, exactly. Magic.
So, I didn't know all your bags went on fire. Did it mess up any of the gear, like cameras and stuff?
I don't think
or
so.
Did you guys salvage it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything was right. And then I think we were sleeping on Mersiglio's like floor, like a bunch of us. We would just like lay like, kind of like whatever it is, like just like next to each other, like in a row, and we were just sleeping on Marsiglio's floor because he was in like Antioch at the time or something like that. So we got stuck in Antioch, I think, or something. And then we ended up at Connor's house, me and Torres. We stayed at Connor's for a while. I think Torres was stuck in California for like a month. It was crazy, but it was great.
It felt good.
Yeah.
Well, shit like that when it happens is like, this is the fucking worst thing ever. It's the worst trip ever. And then you look back on it now that you're older and you don't have to deal with those problems anymore. You're like, that was the best. Yeah. That was the best trip. Every time I hear anything about that, I know Billy and you probably got stories like that too. Like I could think of a few of myself, and those are like the best stories that we had because we were young. We didn't care about anything back then.
Well, that's why we were going to do it again. So I think 2000.
Yes, 10 years.
Yeah, 2019 I think was the 10 years. So we were like, all right, now that we have like a little bit of money, we're a little bit older, we're just as stupid. Let's go ahead and get just a newer version and just do it again. Same route, whatever it may be. But that didn't happen. But I'm still down to do it. 20 years I'm in.
I thought it was supposed to be just as shitty of a car though. I thought that was the point.
Well, yeah, it would just be like a new. Instead of it being like a 1980s, it'd be a 1990s. We'll go 10 years because 80s is insane. I mean, there's no point in doing the 80s.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I want to be part of that trip.
Yeah, I'm down to go.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to get into some of our trip stories. We had some good trips.
Which ones could we talk about?
Well, that's the thing.
Because I'm trying to think of them too, and I'm like, can we talk about these? Because a lot of them go places where like they start cool and then they just go somewhere. But this, well, that's the same story. That's the same story.
That's
all right.
Fish, you didn't come on a lot of the Arizona trip. You never came to an Arizona trip, right? You didn't come to Arizona trip. You didn't come to Puerto Rico. Like I've gone on a lot of trips with Austin. A lot of the trips that I've gone on with you, we probably can't talk about, or probably shouldn't talk about. And then all like the Arizona trips were more or less, I'll say wholesome. But
I was thinking about the tundra in Arizona.
Oh yeah, those were great. All those stories.
We had that. Was it me, you, and Neil?
Yeah, that's when we went to and Glenn.
Glenn was there. I won't even disclose Neil's last name on air just because he's a lawyer now.
Yeah.
But anybody who knows Neil knows that was like our one free day, like that trip to do something fun, not skate. And we rented a car to go to Sedona to hike in the mountains. We rented like the cheapest little car that you could get. I don't know, like a Toyota Yaris or something. And then the guy's like, would you mind a free upgrade? We're like, yeah, sure. And the guy shows us a Toyota Tundra, which is like the biggest pickup truck you could possibly get. And
like
me and
F-150.
Justin, it was bigger than an F-150 because like me and you, we're not tall. We're like 5'6", probably, both of us. And we had to like...
I'm 5'7".
Oh, you're 5'7" now?
Yeah, in case girls are watching, I'm 5'7.5", just in case.
That's what I tell my girl too. I'm 5'7". She tells me I'm 5'6".
My license says 5'7". I'm 5'7".
Me too. Mine does also.
I have I think I might even be 5'8" right now. I'm keep like growing. I had like a growth spurt. Whatever, forget it. I had a growth spurt, I think.
Well, the more tanning you do, I think, the taller you grow. I think there's some scientific research. I think I saw a Neil deGrasse Tyson video about that.
It isn't. I wanted to make sure it was nice. Bronze.
I mean, it's like you think about it, it's like a plant, like little sun, little water.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm basically just a ficus. When you're really a salty ficus, that's really all I am.
Are you owned by Christian Delfino?
Yes, correct. Herman Miller.
I don't even remember where we were going with this.
Do you have enough lemons in that water? How many?
I like lemon water. It's basically like lemonade. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, remember we used to go skating with lemon water? It was the best shit ever.
Of course.
We used to bring a jug and
It
get
was the best shit ever.
It was though, because it's refreshing. Like when the summer, I think it would probably start on those Arizona trips. It'd be hot as hell.
Let me tell you something right now. I get these questions all the time, like from civilians, like non-skating people, and everyone's always like, "Well, how come you still look like that?" And well, the reality is, how come Billy you look like that? How come you look like that? Maybe it's the lemons. I don't know. Maybe the whole thing was lemons this whole time. I don't know. You know
I think it's lemons and watermelon, because I ate a lot of watermelon.
I don't eat watermelon. I don't like watermelon.
You don't like watermelon?
No.
What?
Watermelon's a waste to me. Watermelon's a waste to me. I don't know. I've never if someone has it, I'll eat it, but I'm not going out of my way. I'm not getting a watermelon and cutting it up. And
all right, this is the end of this podcast. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one, 152.
At the end, you got to throw the piece out. It's like stupid. It's like big. You can't even it's the whole waste. I don't like watermelon. It's pointless. Mango's good.
How do we feel about pineapple on pizza?
Why would you do that?
Did you?
I'm just because we're talking about fruits.
No pineapple on pizza. No.
Well, so what's good on a pizza then?
That was a test. That was
Pizza?
actually a test.
What's good on a pizza?
Prosciutto's good on pizza.
Yeah.
Arugula?
If you're gonna put the prosciutto, you need the arugula. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, they go hand in hand.
Pepperoni
they go
though?
together.
If you're doing like standard?
I'll eat pepper. I don't ask for pepperoni. I don't think I've ever ordered.
Very basic.
Yeah, I'll eat a pepperoni slice, but I'm not going to ask for a pepperoni slice. You know.
So like kids, kind of, if you think about it.
I love pepperoni.
Yeah,
it has to be from the right spot, but yes, like a Prince Street pepperoni. Prince Street pepperoni.
Okay, so that's very good. Yeah, that's very good. I had that recently.
Or like a Diavola pie with like some spicy salami.
A Diavola is good. You know.
Yeah.
Diavola's good.
Oh, now we're talking here. This is a podcast. Now that's what we're talking about. Did you see that Joe Rogan clip with Elon Musk where they ordered double pineapple, double anchovy?
No,
I didn't see that.
That's Joe Rogan's favorite pizza, and they order on the show live double pineapple, double anchovy, and they're both just going to town on this pie that looks so disgusting.
What state are they in?
They're in Texas. It doesn't matter where you are. It's
Gross.
double pineapple, double anchovy. It doesn't matter where you are.
It's still gonna be gross no matter where. But either way, Texas is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was no good.
Well, you think about the salt with the fruit, but no, I get it. I'm with you guys.
No.
Okay, let's bring it back down to earth. We'll get back down to skating. So you've been working on a part for a long time with JP, and I've been seeing you for this part. Well, one, you've been working on it for a while, and two, you did a lot of traveling for it. So can we get into the beginning of this part, the motivation, how long it took, where you went, and everything that went into it?
Yeah.
Congrats, by the way. I really enjoyed the part.
It was good.
Thank you. We started, so it's been a while. We started, last year. So we started January. Was it January? Yeah. So we started basically January of last year. We went, or maybe February. We went to Miami just to kind of get away, right? So I think that's where I had made that, or JP made that LA edit. So we made it while we were in, we had all the footage already that we got in November. So November of 2000 and, I'm so bad at this. November of 2001, we skated in LA. We got that footage. We were in Miami with my buddy Larry. Larry's the best, by the way. We were with Larry in February 2022. That's when he made the edit of that. And then we started filming for what we wanted to make now. And the whole idea was a retirement kind of thing, right? Because we had made a bunch of edits already, and he wanted to make a whole piece of it. So it was going to be we're in Boca, joking around, we're retired in Boca, like Seinfeld's parents, kind of thing, right? And
Boca Vista.
Exactly. We were going to get footage in Florida and then go from there. So the only trip that we took, I've been traveling a lot over the past 2 years, but the only trip for that edit was just Miami. That was basically it. And we got a bunch of stuff in Miami, and then we just went back to New York, and we were just skating a bunch. And we were going out all the time because it's just me and him going out usually. And people would meet up, but it was always me and him. And we've always done these wake up at 5 a.m., be in the city by 5:30, grab a cup of coffee, sun's coming up, and once it's bright, we just start skating, and you pull up the spots, and the security guards aren't even awake yet. They're exhausted. They're cold, they're tired, they don't even want to kick you out. They would just come out and see you, and they're just whatever, get out of here. So it was, we would wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, get 6 clips by 10, pass out, and then wake up and go to the beach. We had like the whole day ahead of us, and
That's sick.
yeah, it's pretty sick. And we got a lot of clips over the past, year or so. And then recently we went to Puerto Rico, but that wasn't in the edit. So I actually have, that edit came out. So now that that's done, there's still technically a whole edit that we can make of Puerto Rico. And then on top of it, all the stuff that I got with Torres and everybody else. So there's like a lot of stuff coming. But the edit just now, yeah, it was sick. There was a lot of good clips in it, a lot of good spots. And yeah, that's been like I feel like over the past couple of years, I've been like really putting a lot more like effort in. Like I'm skating 10 times more than I've skated over the past couple of years, easily. Like in terms of
that's the best.
Yeah. I remember like, and I guess this will lead to like you saying you say you have like a lot more footage that hasn't been used.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I guess this is like my point of interest because I remember when we were talking about it and you were getting up at like, and we got to talk about getting up earlier to skate too, because I really like that. But I think we were talking and you told me something like you were getting up early to go skate. You were like pretty focused with JP, like working like really carving out time to go out and get clips. And I was like, how many clips do you have? You're like, I don't know. I got like 80, 90. Like, I was like, dude, that's like 3 sections. Like, why are you still pushing? So can you get into that a little bit?
Well,
you have like 80 or 90 clips and you're still pushing to like get up early, go skate.
Well, it got to me recently, just so you're aware.
Okay.
It did.
Okay.
I did lose my mind a little bit, but no, it's basically, look, I know it's tough for everyone's got stuff going on, right? Like it's, we're all blessed to the fact that we're in, let's say, 30s, late 30s, early 40s. Like the fact that we're still doing this is amazing. And like when I talk to other people, like civilians that don't skate, it's not even like the athleticism and like the fact that we're in shape. It's the fact that we have something that we love to do. So many people are like lost, right?
Yeah.
Where, maybe they have a wife and kids. Okay, they do that. I don't even know if they like the wife and kids, but they do that. Whatever, okay? And, they focus on work, but they don't have anything that they want to do. And it's kind of like, I can never think of that. Like, I can't even picture that. Like, what do you live for in a sense, right? Like, what do you have going on? So I know that we're blessed to all have this in our lives, but at the same time, we have life, jobs, family, kids, this, whatever we got, right? So we kept skating and we were just like, all right, when do we hit done? Like, when is this project done? We just kept going, right? So we just keep filming and filming and filming. And then finally we were like, all right, this is done. So we stopped. And then I went on to Bodega Boys stuff, right? So I think we stopped filming in August. So I've been filming with him so much. Then we went to, then I started filming with like Mike and those guys. So in 2022, I didn't have a lot with Mike and those guys, like maybe 5 or 6 clips, nothing, right? But then this past year, 2023, that's when I started bulking up on that, So you kind of gotta, prioritize. But it's good to put like a deadline on it. So we put a deadline on it, and then we went to Puerto Rico, and then we started working on a Puerto Rico thing. But just between everything else, it started to like compile. So it started to stress me out a little bit because we would go to spots that I've already skated, with JP, and then I would go with other people, and they're like, "Oh, let's start skating here," and I'm like, "Nah, let's not go there. That spot sucks." And I heard, it's capped and security guards are there, whatever it is, because I want to deter everyone from going. I don't want to go back. What am I going to do? One up myself? I don't want to. It's like betting against yourself. I don't want to do that, So, yeah, it's tough when you start compiling, and it started to make me a little bit crazy because I was like nervous to have to go back to spots, or then you start, now I'm wearing bigger pants, I'm doing different clips, like you start to kind of weed yourself out. But I'm glad it came out. I'm happy with it. I think it was pretty good. I think it was a well-rounded thing, and I'm trying to get away from where I used to be back in the day, where all my sections were like, I'll eat fish brain this, I'll eat fish brain that. I'm trying to do other things. You know what I mean? Switch. Yeah, anything switch.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like you did a really good job.
Sorry, I got a cat fight here.
A cat fight? Oh,
I'm sorry. I fucked up. I didn't feed them before I began the podcast. So sorry.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I noticed that with your skating that, I feel like a lot of people from our generation aren't able to transition to like the new style of skating too successfully. But I don't know if it's because you're skating with like a different crowd in the Bodega Boys who are like really conscious of these things, or if it's you yourself being motivated by what's happening around you and like the new style of skating that's happening. But I think you've done a pretty good job of embracing a lot of those new ideas and techniques, and like not kind of being like the quintessential like skater from like the late 90s, early 2000s that does like a lot of those. Not that there's anything wrong with the traditional style of skating or tricks, but I've really seen you like kind of successfully embrace those new ideas. So I just wanted to let you know that I've noticed.
Oh, well,
But
thank you.
yeah, is that something you were consciously trying to do, or was it just like naturally happening because of like who you were skating with and what was happening?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm not the old school, like, oh my God, we got to do, gap 25 flat, 25 true acid. Okay.
Right.
I'm not saying I'm not that guy, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm not going to like poo poo on like, someone doing like a toe roll or something like that, or like,
Right.
something
Mhm.
like that. Right. But I also know my limits, and my
Right.
friends will definitely tell me when I'm out of my limits, right? Like, so if I start getting a little, like, if it looks stupid, like, if I'm doing it, it looks stupid, like, I'm not meant or built to do that. I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to try to, like, kind of, like, incorporate it in. So I've just been trying to do different stuff, whether it's just like, a switch trick or a true spin trick, or, throw some type of, like, heel roll or toe roll in, but I'm not going to do something that I know is going to look silly doing. You know what I mean? Like, I've never done like
Right.
a straight up heel roll, toe roll alone, because I just I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't
Yeah.
meant to do that, wasn't built for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, I get that. That's like also like not like a huge amount of the time that you were in the developmental stage skating, you were kind of refining
Yeah.
those maneuvers. You were kind of spending your time refining other maneuvers, which I can completely relate to because I was doing the same thing. And when I try to come back like 20 years, however deep into the fact, and trying to like learn toe rolls, it's well, one, it's a humbling experience, but two,
Oh,
it's definitely like you realize you spend time like developing a different aspect of your craft throughout that time.
mm.
But like I said, like I really think that, and it's good that you have friends that are able to tell you like, hey, maybe like this one isn't working
Yeah.
out, like I think
Pull it back a little bit. Pull it back. Stop.
yeah.
Yeah. Stop doing what you're
Hey,
doing.
hey man, it takes a friend to have the courage to be honest
Of
sometimes,
course. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you have a
So
group of like diverse people as well too. Like if you think about the Bodega
Yeah.
Boys, like you skate nothing like Ariel, you skate nothing like Torres, so everybody's so different that you all like, I guess, know where you stand when you go to a spot almost. Not that it's like a bad thing or anything, but like you go to a spot and
Oh
you
no,
all
it's
kind of
great.
like naturally just separates as skating different things, even though you're at the same spot.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those things where it doesn't matter. Like, someone could be better technically, but like at that spot they're not. So it's not like we get to a spot and like, oh, that person's the best. They'll do whatever. It doesn't work like that, because there are a lot of spots I go to where I'm like, oh my God, I can't skate this, and they can easily skate it. Like, it could be something as little as like a little like bump where they're all just hitting it and like launching off it, and then I hit it and I just like fly right into it. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I just can't do that. So it's cool to have everyone with like a different skill set. But no, skating with them is the best, and I learn a lot from them. And I think like without them, I wouldn't do as many things, or I wouldn't try and change things up if I didn't have like see them skate. There's a lot of times I'm just sitting back watching them, and I'm like, I don't know how they do that. I would love to like do that, and it's good to learn stuff, because I remember back in the day, like just going back into starting. I mean, we used to go to this school up the block from my house when I first started, and it was just a step, and I would just royale it for, I don't know, 200 times. I wouldn't try another trick. I would just royale it 200 times. And it's like, I had to learn how to royale, right? So, now to go somewhere and try a trick 200 times, like, it's kind of like fun, because I've never done that before. It's like back,
yeah.
it's like learning something again at this age is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely part of like the process too, and I can relate because I think royales are kind of like, kind of, maybe it's like our like almost developing like our ollie. Like it's such like a quintessential grind, and like when you first start, it's kind of hard to figure out, and then once you get it, you're like, oh, like I need to. You start to feel like where the feet go and like that learning process. So,
Oh, by the way, I can't really royale. I'm not good at royales. No, like that's the thing. Like, I get to the spot.
yeah,
Let's say I get to a rail, I warm up kind grind or soul. I'll probably kind grind. I don't want to soul anything. Probably kind grind. like at like a spot, like in a sense, like if it's like a rail. But I
Yeah.
just kind of started doing royale. Like you'll never see me just like royale something, and I try and like limit royaling in a sense.
Yeah.
I
Okay. Well, yeah, yeah. You can definitely tell that you're soul foot heavy on
Yeah,
more things, and I can relate to that as well.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, let's. I don't want to go too far down that road. I think this is a good place to transition because we're just talking about your relationship with skating with the younger guys, and or a different crowd that helps influence your skating in their diverse approach. But what was the inception of the Bodega Boys? How did that come to be, and your relationship with them?
Well, I mean, I was always friends with Torres, and then I was friends with everybody. Everyone like just started coming in. You know what I mean? Like, there's always been people who moved to New York, right? So, I think we had a really good crew over the past couple of years. Like, it just started to come together, right? And we were always making like or Torres was always making like the videos, like one for the road and all that kind of stuff. But then like the crew started to get like a lot bigger and like stronger, right? And I forgot like how it came about, but like it's always good to have like a purpose or like a reason in a sense. And then that's when the like I guess team came together and we just kind of ran with it, right? So it's like the name was there, and then it's like, all right, now we have a name. All right, so we'll just keep going. I don't even know what's going on with it right now, but it's just that's what we use. So it's just like a solid group. Like there's a lot of us now, and you mentioned before about being from New York. What classifies? Well, I mean, I know what classifies being from New York, but like Delfino's been in New York for a while now. You know what I mean? So like he's part of
Yeah.
it. He's in there.
Yeah.
Gusto's been in New York for a long time. I met him in Tampa when he was living in Tampa. Like when I skated Tampa, however many years ago, and now he's fully here. So we developed like a really good crew, and everyone's good, and everyone's cool, and it's a lot of fun. It's like a big
I
part.
think I think sometimes like a lot of like native New Yorkers or native to the city can be definitely sticklers about like what makes you from New York, especially from a place that was like ground zero when like gentrification into the cities in like early 2000s first started happening in mass waves. New York was a place that kind of experienced that pretty early on, and there was a lot of pushback from the residents because of some of the changes that was happening.
We let them know.
Definitely. No, but I will say after saying all of that, well, one, I think it's important for people who like move into cities that are new from there to kind of integrate in the city and like the culture and kind of be a part of it. And like, what I see Bodega Boys as is like kind of like a staple thing in New York City, like along with Ghetto Community, who like provides like a culture for like the skating community that is needed, especially in like one of the biggest cities in the world, but like one of like the main places that has like a really strong skating scene. So like you need that like Ghetto Community, you need that Bodega Boys. And I already told Delfino, like, it's an ongoing joke, but I think if you lived in New York for 5 years, you get your temporary New Yorker visitor pass because it's like a huge fallout rate. But if you've been there for 10 years, then you get your permanent New Yorker visitor card.
I agree. Yeah.
And Delfino's definitely, he's well over 10. I think Torres is creeping. He's been there for I think Torres is creeping up on that. Augusto might be there as well. So, it's like at that point, and Ryerson, I think Ryerson was born in New York, and then Florida, and then back in New York. So there's, yeah, but then everyone else too is so sick. Like Sam is super sick, like Jeremy Raff, and just good to see for me, just people in the city like contributing to the culture and being part of it and like keeping like New York skating scene healthy and thriving. Like whether you're from there or whether you're newly adopted to the city or moved there, then I think that's super important. But
I think the whole, like you mentioned, like Ghetto Community, like I love the fact that there's that many people that will classify with like a group, you know what I mean? So like it's sick that they have like their group and we have our group, and we'll meet up together at times, or like even if we don't meet up, like it's good to know that they're there and we're here, you know what I mean? Like you kind of need both, right? I love what Jordan's doing. Jordan's I actually had a funny thing happen with me and him recently. We were skating downtown. Okay. I normally, at this point, going back to like the bougie thing, like I need to have like all my stuff, right? So it's like, I used to just pack a backpack, get on the train, go to the city, deal with it.
Right.
I'm not doing that anymore, right? So now it's like, I bring 3 pairs of pants, 3 pairs of underwear, extra socks. Like I need to have
Well, you
everything.
need
Like,
that, yeah. 3, I don't know, but you need the extra pair of socks and undies.
it's honestly, I don't know what it is. Like, I guess getting older, like you start realizing things. When I start sweating, like I never sweat normally, but like when I'm skating now, I sweat so much that like if I'm at a spot, I'll sweat underwear, pants soaked, right? And then the issue is like if a little breeze comes in, I'm like, I'm freezing. This is ridiculous. It's like Antarctica. I'm freezing. So I'll literally just bring a towel. I'll just take all my clothes off right in front of her, just put the towel around, change, fresh underwear, fresh pants. I can't not do that anymore. Like I have to have that, right? So I normally would drive in with like everything, park, go back and forth to my car, or I literally just drive from spot to spot. I did that recently, which is insane, but whatever. Like
tough in Manhattan to do, yeah.
Well, we skate like downtown usually on Sundays, so it's like you could park anywhere. I'll just pull up in front of the spot. Yeah, park. Who cares? Done. So I was like, you know what? Let me try it out. Let me do something different. Let me take the train. I was like, I haven't taken a train in a while, so I took a train in, and it was one of those points where I haven't done this in a while. We were skating downtown. It was like the session's kind of like creeping down, but we're having a good time, and the guys got beers, and we're sitting around, and we're hanging out. I'm like looking at, like, I'm like, should I just go? I'm like, I should probably go. Like, maybe I should take the train. But then there was like a party happening. Like someone else, civilians hit me up, and they were like, oh, there's like a party happening. It ended up being on the same block, and we're like all hanging out. I'm like, man, should I like? I'm like, I'm gonna go home. So I look at it. I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna go back. I was like, and it's really nice out. I'm gonna skate home, or skate back, not home. Skate back to Penn Station. And we were all the way we were basically at Wall Street. We were by like Water Street, right? And we were just skating this like little guardrail thing. And I was like, I'm going to just hit the West Side Highway and just, take the bike path all the way down.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no problem, whatever it is. And I'm like, yeah, sounds good. So in my head, it sounds fantastic. Like I'm, I say goodbye to everybody, dap everybody up, 5 blocks away. I'm like feeling great. I get to the West Side Highway. I'm going, and then it's like,
no, that sucks.
I'm like, no, this sucks. I'm like, this freaking,
it's horrible.
It was so bad. Like, it was horrible. And like, no one's around, and it's like miserable, and like bikes are flying past me. I'm like,
right.
Oh, this sucks. And then I'm like looking, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to freaking miss this thing. And I'm like, why did I leave? I'm like, because the way the trains work, there's not another one for like an hour and a half. So the whole thought pattern was, I'm like, let me just Uber home. Let me hang out with the guys, Uber home whenever I want. Who cares? Whatever. And then finally, I'm like, damn it. I'm like, now I have to make this train. Like, I've already done this. I'm not going to go back and hang out with them and look stupid, right? So I'm going.
It's kind of like back in John Bound, like the same.
Kind of.
I've already come this far. Yeah.
Luckily, he saves me. So I'm on the West Side Highway, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just hit in so I could just like skitch maybe. I was like, let me just grab a couple cars, hopefully to pull me in. So I'm about to like jump on a car, and all I hear is like someone screaming my name. And I'm like, I think I'm in like I'm probably at like in like 14th Street at the time,
like
right?
Greenwich Village, like yeah.
Yeah. So I'm in like the teens, and then I hear someone call my name. It's like Brasco, and like I look around and I see Jordan coming the wrong way on like against.
Motorcycle?
Yeah, he was coming in on a dirt bike, like on the wrong way. And it's one of those, like, he pulls up in front of me. We said hello real quick. And he's like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I just got done skating. I got to go to Penn Station. He's like, well, we'll hop on. And I'm holding on to the back of his dirt bike. And he's just flying the wrong way on, like, a one-way street, basically. And he takes me all the way to Penn Station. And it's one of those, like, he just, like, says goodbye from behind, like, hit him like this. And then I just went flying right into Penn Station. And, like, I hit him. So I think I was supposed to, like, I was going to miss the train by 20 minutes. I think I made it with, like, 10 minutes to spare. And like I texted the guys, and I'm like, I'm here, and that's not possible. And I'm like, you'll never believe what happened. I'm like, he just, how's that happen? He just picks me up in the middle of the city, and just freaking like flies me down. And it's like, those are the things that would never happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's why it's like skating's the best, and having these different groups and everyone knowing each other, even though we're, let's say, different, we're not different in any way. You know what I mean? We're all like exactly the same.
Nah, that's actually like a great story. Like Jordan is like. He's like the patron saint of like New York City rollerblading. He's actually like, he's just there. Like I remember back in the day, like just, but he was young too. And I was just like around, like I was like the skate park, and some skateboarder went by and just like shouldered me. It was an accident, but like, I didn't think anything of it. And And then Jordan went to like go to like he's just such a defender of rollerblading, and like he'll like stand up for rollerblading in any situation, and in any environment. And he like if he sees a rollerblader on the street, like it could be you who he knows or like someone who he never met, like in New York City on the street, he'll be like, "Yo, what up?" Like from like the motorcycle and do some shit like that. So. Yeah, that's a cool story. Huge shout out Jordan Baez.
Anytime I see a bike go by, a dirt bike, a quad bike, whatever it is, or like a group of people, I'm looking all the time like, is that Jordan? Is that Jordan? It's got to be Jordan. Like every single time, no matter where I am, even here in Staten Island, I'm like, that's got to be Jordan. He's got to be taking a little trip somewhere or something.
No, I have the one story which I'm not going to tell.
He told it already when we had him on.
Hold on. Do you think we could? Someone requested. If we could tell one of the untellable stories in the Patreon,
we'll do it in the when we do our section commentary. We'll just add it in.
That's what I mean. Like we'll do it in the section.
I guess.
We'll do one of the untellable stories in the section commentary.
The Rhode Island one, or
there's like international intrigue. There's so much in that one. All right, that's fine. That's cool.
I think we can use it out. I don't think that's too bad.
No.
But
that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Oh, do you have Torres was saying, do you have a version of Jordan Baez's Williamsburg Bridge story?
That's the story, right?
Well, that's the story, yeah. But he told it already? He told
his side of it, unless you want to tell your side. That was also like a couple of years ago. He told it like right after it happened. It was like a few weeks after it actually happened when we had him on.
So I'll do it, somewhat quick. So we were filming for something, and I was with JP, and he was filming something for Baez. I think he was filming that like action figures thing, and then like we were just making like a regular section. Okay, so it's coming to the end. It's like I think it was me, Tad, someone else. Was it Ryan? I don't remember who. I can't think of it right now. But it's me, JP, Tad, someone else. We're skating downtown, and JP's like at the end of the day, like we're literally we're on like whatever Wall Street basically, and we're just hanging out there. And he's like, "Hey, do you mind if Baez meets up? I got to do a little bit of filming with Baez because he's on his bike." And I was like, "Yeah, 100%. That sounds, great. Tell Baez to come." And within like he literally said it within 2 seconds. He comes flying up on the sidewalk, like right on the sidewalk with his dirt bike. And he's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Nothing." We were like bullshitting a little bit, hanging out. And then JP's like, "Hey, do me a favor, drive my car." And he goes to like give me the keys. I'm like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll drive your car." He's like, "Because I'm gonna film, Baez." Doing the dirt bike stuff right next to you while you drive. I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking the keys. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, no, you drive. I'm not dealing with this right now. So he's like, all right, fine.
He told you to take the keys?
Well, because he was like, JP's like, I want to film, you drive. Like, I'm the filmer, right? Like, you drive. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't think. Like in my head, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like that's not something I want to do. I'll film. I'll hold the camera, which I didn't want to do that either. Now, right? So then he's like, all right, you film, I'll drive. No problem. So within 2 seconds, I regretted this whole situation, okay? Because we're literally in Wall Street. We pull up to like the light. It's like a 4-way, okay? And he's in front of us. He's like, all right, well, we'll start filming now. I was like, start filming what? And within 2 seconds, there's like a cloud of smoke, and he goes right into like the intersection. So where the cars are turning, they have to stop, and he's just doing like, he's like peeling out in front, and then he basically waits till like the light. Now, we were in Wall Street, right? Then like, there's like people were like looking at us like we're all nuts, and then finally he just like takes off, and now JP's like trying to keep up. That's why I didn't want to drive. So JP's like trying to keep up, and I'm like kind of hanging out the window like trying to film, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. And finally, like we're going all over the place, and he's like doing stuff, and he'd come up to the window and he'd like hang out with me like while the car's moving. He's just like hanging out, like we're just BSing. And then I'm like filming him like this, and I'm like kind of squinting, like I don't even want to look at it, And then I'm hanging out the window. We make it to the bridge. And he's like doing stuff like on the bridge, and then he comes up next to us and he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to go that way to Queens. You guys are going back to Brooklyn. I'll do one more thing. I'll do like a wheelie, whatever it is. Like right now it's going to look sick on the bridge with like the scenery in the background. And I'm like, yeah, all right, sounds great, whatever. And then I think Tad like looks back and he sees like a cop car. And I forgot the stupidity around it, but I think Tad's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's New Jersey Transit, so they can't do anything. And we're like, the fuck does that? What does that mean? Like they're cops. Like what does it matter? What are they not going to do something if like they see something? So like the cop kind of gives like a flash, like almost like don't be stupid, right? Like just a flash. And 2 seconds later, the bike just goes up in the air like this, and then the sirens go, whatever it is, and he's like up in the air, and like I'm like scared to film. Now I'm like an accomplice, right? So I'm basically like, I'm going like this. The cop's looking at me. I'm like putting the camera down. I'm picking it back up, and then I think he like goes up like this, and then I've never seen this in my life, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this thing scared the life out of me. The bike just goes up, and he just goes back. Okay, and like JP stops on the car, everybody stops, and now we're like literally on the highway. The bike
he falls
is now
off the bike.
He falls off the bike. Okay, falls off the bike. I think like he's wearing a helmet. He hits his head. The bike is now ghost riding on the side of the median. That JP's got. All the cars have stopped at this point, right? All the cars have stopped. The bike is like ghost riding. It's like putting down like this. I'm stunned. Okay, I don't know what to do. Right? Like I'm frozen. Okay, the cop basically comes, cuts us off. Okay, so now we can't even drive because the cop is stopped. The cop gets out of the car and goes and runs and gets him. Baez like comes to, like shakes it off, whatever it may be, and just like kind of like fakes out the cop, like he's doing this like football move, right, or something. I don't even know what the hell it's called, like a blitz or something. I don't know what the term is called. He's doing this like move, and then he jumps on like the hood of like our car, and we're all frozen, like just looking at him through the windshield, like what do we do? What if it's in JP's like, he's like looking at us. I'm like, I don't know what to do right now. I don't know if like now are we accomplices in this? I don't know what's going on. So he realizes that we're not going to go anywhere. So he starts like faking out like the cop basically, and then he just like jumps off the bridge. Like he just jumped off. I don't know where dude. I don't know. But it was like at the end of the bridge. So we don't know if he jumped off the bridge and like dropped. Did he jump off into like a hill? We don't know where he is. So now he's gone. So now the cop's like kind of like looking around like this, and then he sees us, and then JP does like the 10 turn like reverse, goes around the cop, goes flying off the highway, like hits a curb, jumps off, makes like 5 or 6 turns. We pull up to some like little like coffee shop in like the middle of nowhere. He parks. We just all jump out and we order coffees. We're just sitting there like this, like hands folded.
Yeah.
Like just in case, like so in case the cops come in, it's like, were you guys just in the car filming? We're like, absolutely not. What are you talking about?
The cops came up to you guys.
No. We were just like scared in case that they were gonna come. But it was like the craziest thing in the planet. We just like sat there, and then like, I'll never forget this. We're like, oh my god, like what's going on? Like, what do we do? Like, this is crazy. Like, we're scared to death. Like sitting at this coffee shop, like everyone's hands are shaking with their little coffees and such. And then finally,
is Jordan okay? Did Jordan?
Yeah, we don't know if he's okay. So whatever it may be. And then I think like out of nowhere, we're all sitting around like dead silent. And then Tad's like, oh, Baez just texted me. And he goes, and then he like looks at his phone. He says, I'm Gucci. And we were like, oh, okay. And we just moved on. That was it. It was completely insane. Like there was like no need for any of that, but it happened and it was fantastic. It was a great show.
Didn't he try to like get in the car too? Unless you said that.
He jumped on the hood. He was on the hood.
I thought he was trying to like. Oh, okay, that's what it was.
Did he want you guys to like step on the gas and go with him?
1,000%. 1,000%. He was hooked on.
He's seen Rush Hour too many. He's seen like Rush Hour too many times.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
Trying to do Jackie Chan.
He was content. He was like smiling into the windshield, like winking at us, like whatever it may be. He's like, yeah, just take off. Just take off. And he was like hooked on. And if JP would have took off, he would have been fine. He would have just been like, hey, pull over here. I'm going to get out. I think he left the bike. He got another bike. Everything was fine,
Yeah,
like no issues.
I heard he left the bike, yeah.
But it wasn't like a big deal. Left the bike, everything was fine.
For him, that's fine.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, for you guys, it was like the complete opposite.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Did you get any clips that day, though?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Hopefully.
That's a good story. In a little bit, not right now, we're going to open it up for some questions if people have them. But before we do, we have still a couple more questions to get into. So tell me about the new parts that we're waiting on. Like, are they fully filmed? Are they themed? Like you said, Puerto Rico might be part of it. What's around the corner?
So we have.
You didn't one up any of my Puerto Rico clips, did you?
Well, yeah. just the one.
You got a 720 topsail in there?
No, I did the one. Are you saying this on purpose?
What was it? Did you send me something?
I thought you were like setting me up for a joke over here.
I don't know. Am I?
You did the roller and then sold the curb. I did the roller and top sold the curb.
Oh, you top sold it. I thought you rolled to roll or something. No. No, I told you that my buddy Paul rolled it, and
he rolled it 2 feet.
Yeah.
That's not possible.
I told you had the same exact reaction when I told you. He did it like first try too, like piece of cake.
Yeah, no, you did the launch to Soul. I just did the launch to Top Soul.
That's fine. You
the
could take that.
All right, thanks, appreciate it. I think that's the only thing that we like redid in a sense. I think a lot of the other spots were new. Puerto Rico's the best. I mean, listen, I know Tato texted before that he's going to be watching. I mean, look,
He was, yeah.
Yeah, Tato's got tons of spots. Puerto Rico's amazing. Puerto Rico's like one of the best places to skate, personally. The weather is great, spots are great, people are great. It's cheap, no roaming. It's like, it's a great place to go if you're, in the
If you're
United
from
States.
America, yeah.
Yeah, from America. But yeah, so I have a bunch of stuff in Puerto Rico. I don't know what JP's doing with that. I don't know if that's going to be a video because he has like a lot of other Puerto Rico footage. So I don't know if that's going to be like a one-off section. We're talking about going back to Puerto Rico this winter. So I don't know if that's like what we're doing. I don't know what's happening with that. And then other than that, from mid-year last year, we're doing like the new Bodega Boy video, So that I have like a bunch of stuff for that. I don't know exactly what's happening with that, but that should be out probably like January, February next year. And then what else? What else is it? Then the only other thing is that this past Winter Clash. So when we went to Amsterdam this past year in 2023, me and Torres went to England. So we have like a little Bodega Boy England thing coming out soon.
Oh, why is that not out then? Because it's Torres? Torres, you're in the chat right now. I know you hear this. You always have something. You're always working on something. You always got something coming out. Do you ever skate for fun without a camera? Is that a thing for you?
Who, Torres or me?
You?
Oh no, absolutely not.
No way.
No. Well, no, I had a talk about this recently. See, my thing is like I'm gonna get hurt, right? No matter what. Okay, and like, so it's like if I'm not saying I'm on borrowed time, but it's like if I'm gonna get hurt, I'd rather get hurt like and make something of it, right? So it's like we usually I don't really go skate parks. I get so worked at skate parks. I get so destroyed at skate parks all the time. I get destroyed on P rails, destroyed, like broken back, neck, ear. Like I get rocked on P rails, right? So to me, I'd rather just when we all go out skating street, we film street, we're working on something. I enjoy that, and it's like I feel like the filming is almost like a part of it because you're rooting everybody on. People are excited. You're hanging out. You get that lull in between to like hang out while you're filming with someone else. So I enjoy that. Like, yeah, it's productive, but at the same time, like I enjoy that aspect of it, But I mean, yeah, Torres is working on like a lot of stuff right now, so I know it'll be out. But it's like I know he's got other projects that he's working on. He's got some stuff planned with other stuff, but that should be out soon. But that was cool just because we got to skate with like UK Dan. We got to skate with Crofts. We got to skate with. I never had like a proper London session, and it ended up being perfect. Like the weather was great. It barely, the weather was amazing when we were there.
That's rare.
Yeah, no, it was sick. We were supposed to go to Portugal, and we decided not to go to Portugal because London was so sick. Like I think the weather was the same, or might have even been better in London. And the spots, London is London skating. I think is amazing. I love London.
Yeah, that was also like really unique for that time of the year because we stayed after Winter Clash too. We stayed in Netherlands, which is like really close to England, and the weather was like out of control. Good, it was like really like the best in years for that time of the year.
Yeah, I remember you and me were texting back and forth, and you guys went out every day. We went out every day. The only time we didn't go out was Torres got sick. It's the Winter Clash thing. Everyone was sick, right after. Who got COVID? Who got this? Who got that? Torres got food poisoning.
Torres is always sick.
Torres is always sick. Yeah, but this was understandable. But but I'm excited for that because it was pretty cool. Eisler was there, Crofts was there, Barrow was there. It was really good sessions. And those guys are really chill. They have like it's cool just because you skate, then you go get a beer, you hang out. They have like a really good thing going. Very similar to us. It was like a great like vibe just being around those guys. I would love to go. Did you ever skate? Paz, you never skated London, right?
No, I've been there, but I didn't have my skates.
And then Billy, did you ever get like a proper London skate?
I have like a thing that came out like me and Stockwell years ago. We filmed like some street skating there. Yeah.
But was that at a park? That was at like a park in the middle of like the grass.
No,
right?
that was. But we have a street thing too. There was a street
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I've been there.
I hit some of like the pretty well known like famous spots there.
Oh, you
Like
did?
like yeah, like downtown London. We skated some of the classic spots for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm excited to go. I would like to go back. I'm trying to figure out something across to go back.
Torres said he's going to finish AZ11 first before this
perfect.
London video comes out.
That actually makes sense, and then that's in his, that makes sense. Yeah.
It does. For Torres, it does make sense.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
I was going to say, I have a stupid thing to say. So if you have something
Nothing
important.
stupid. Nothing stupid.
Nothing stupid. Okay, nothing stupid for Justin. If
No.
you have a message for all the security guards out there, what is it?
See, here's the thing. Okay. The same way when I go and order food and I know it's going to be a problem, I kind of I embrace it. Like I know it's going to be a problem. I know the waitress is going to be pissed off. I know Torres is going to make a joke. I know it's going to be a problem. I kind of like that. So I don't want to tell security guards anything. I want them to continue to fuck with me. Okay? I think it's fantastic, and it adds a little, it adds a little spice to it, which I really, really, really enjoy. Okay? Like, I want to be a 40-year-old guy getting yelled at by a 23-year-old guy. You know what I mean? For skating, and it's like, I think that's hilarious. I think that's great. So please keep kicking me out. I think it's great. Please do it. Thank you.
Wow.
That's funny.
I didn't expect that answer.
I enjoy. I truly enjoy because I like listen.
So it changed over the years.
Listen, it's just been a secret. I guess never told you. You know what I mean? Like I get real pissed off. Like, I can't believe they're kicking me out. But deep down, I'm like,
that's what you live for.
Yeah, I live for this.
You go skating to get kicked out, not to get clips.
Look, someone said recently, like, I forgot who it was, but it's like, I always complain. I'm like, oh, my life is so chaotic. It's always like so hectic. And I feel like that's where I thrive, you know? So it's like, even though the misery is there, I live in misery, you know? So it's pretty good. You know, that's how I am. I like getting kicked out. The England kickouts were the best. The England kickouts. Because the security guards, the security guards would just come up and they'd be like, the guys would like already be putting their bags on, like, whatever, this guy always kicks us out. And the minute the guy walks up, I'm like, hey, listen, don't worry about it, man. Just, you already pretend like you kicked me out. They see it on the camera. They already think that you kicked me out. Go around the block. By the time you go around the block, I've already done it. And I've already did it. And the guy's like, what? Like, what did you say? Like, he doesn't know if I'm the stupidest person on the planet or the smart. Like, I've just enlightened him. And he's just like, all right, just keep doing what you do. I don't even know what to say. So it's like a lot of times, like, you just spin these people around. I just keep talking. No one knows what I'm saying. I feel like this might be a theme of my life. I just keep talking. No one really knows if I'm making sense, or they just kind of like, whatever. I don't really care anymore. So that's why I like getting kicked out. It's fun. It adds a little spice to my day.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah.
I want to skate like Japan with you or something like that, where like security guards are really nice. And there's like, oh, please, no skate. And you're just like, get the fuck out of here.
Locked up. I don't want to get locked up.
You might get Americans banned fully from the whole country of Japan if you go there.
Yeah. Didn't someone like steal like a bag of whatever beans or something like that, and then like they went to prison? I don't want to like get in trouble like that. You know?
Why is there so many beans references in this?
I see a lot of beans or whatever.
Okay, so we have a few questions lined up, but before we get into those, just one more thing. You mentioned Winter Clash last year, 2023, going to London after. Do you have any plans for this coming up year? Do you plan on going to Winter Clash, attending any events, Blade Cup, like doing more? What's on the roster for the year?
Winter Clash, I don't know. If I don't go to Winter Clash, I still want to go away that time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you go somewhere, if the guys go somewhere, I'd like to go away in that time frame, like to Europe, basically. But I'm not 100%, because the only thing is, like, I go to Winter Clash and I get sick. We always get sick, you know what I mean? So I would like to go and be fresh, okay, or maybe go somewhere warm. Blading Cup, I would like to go. I was actually kind of disappointed that we weren't going to have it. I understand why they didn't have it, but I thought that I was going to go to California, you know, around now. So that was kind of like, I was pumped for that. So yeah, any opportunity to go to California, I want to have, because I miss those guys too. So Blading Cup, yeah, Winter Clash, I don't know, but traveling next year personally, and I've already been talking to a lot of people about this. I'd like to make next year like a big skate travel year, 100%. Like I'm down to go on any trip, like wherever anyone's going, I'm down to go.
All right,
First
I'll
class,
keep you in the loop. You know, we have rules. If you,
I know I'm well. Trust me, I'm well aware of your rules. I've heard them.
Wait, what are the rules?
Don't even get into it. We don't have enough time.
Does he have to fly? Does he have to fly everybody else first class?
No. I know Billy's rules.
Rules if he comes on a Mesmer trip.
Oh, a Mesmer trip specifically.
Yeah.
Like I would go on a Mesmer trip. I would love to go on a Mesmer trip. And I know.
I'm just busting your chops.
I know to stay in line. I know to stay in line.
Like I say, we have I have an extra bedroom too. So if you want to come crash anytime, skate whatever skates, hang whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, so do we have any questions on the Patreon, because we have a few lined up here?
We do. I almost forgot about it, but we have some in here. Justin, first of all, I'm a little disappointed that your mom and dad aren't in the chat right now. So
no, they're sitting back to back, like they sit back to back in my old bedroom. My dad's got his whole fortress basically set up, and my mom sits behind him in her little thing, and they just sit back to back, and they're both watching it on different laptops. I know it's exactly what's happening.
I checked. They're not in the group. They're not in the chat. I checked already.
No. They definitely are watching. Trust me.
They better be. If not, I'm disappointed in you both.
Should we give Angela a shout out then?
Yeah.
Angela and Gary.
Hi, Mom.
Angela
Hi, Dad.
and Gary.
Yeah.
Are they gonna pop out the elevator?
Yes, they might be in the elevator right now. My mom could be anywhere technically. You never know. She could be anywhere technically.
She's gonna come out from the balcony right behind you.
Cooking something probably.
Do you have a charcuterie board there?
I was gonna do that. Like that was like the whole joke, but I have to go get that tomorrow. I have a little bodega Friendsgiving. You know what I mean? So I'm doing the whole. I don't want to be that salty. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a lot of salt intake tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotta say something. Like every time, every few days, you're always posting like food on your counter upstairs in your house where you are right now, and I just always assume that you never cook it. I'm just like, oh, he just.
I always cook it
or something like that. And I realized just recently that you are cooking this food. It looks good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not bad. I enjoy cooking. It's therapeutic.
I was impressed. I didn't think you cooked. I thought you just like ordered it, took it off the takeout plate, put it on like a nice plate, and shot a photo of it. That's
old school Justin. Old school Justin never cooked.
No, never. I used to never cook, but I have a nice kitchen now, and I enjoy cooking. It's therapeutic. It calms me down a little bit. I'm trying to be calm in my old age. This has calmed me. I don't know if you see a difference. I'm very calm right now. I'm very
This is like, I mean, I'm sure for like the people who don't know you or are non-New York fans, they probably still think you're speaking fast and in a way that's not calm. But this is calm. I know you, and I know this is calm.
Yeah, this is my parents just texted me and said hi, so they're there. Okay, good.
Nice, very cool.
Are they calling me? I have someone's calling me from a 516 number.
Put them on live, dude.
And they said I'm here. Hold on. Oh, damn! I just missed it. Fuck. Call back. I'm sorry. It just clicked now. I'm like, why is this random number calling me?
No. My mom probably means like I'm here listening, and she's just hitting all the buttons. It's probably calling everybody. That's why she doesn't know what she's doing. She's hitting everything.
I just realized that. I'm like, who is calling me? Garden City?
No.
No.
Might pop up as Garden City. Does it start with a 6 or a 2?
Your call has been forwarded to.
Oh, maybe it's spam.
All right, well, whatever.
It went straight to voicemail.
All
right, but let's get into some of these questions because we have a bunch of stories to tell on Patreon after this.
Yeah.
So we have on Patreon, Javier Ibanez. It's a fully loaded couple questions right here, but
it's a double parter.
It's a few in here. How was it like to work on this project with JP from Butter TV? Did you have any? Oh my God! Did you have any say on camera angles or production related stuff?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Anybody? Yeah. Or just let JP kill that part while you focus on killing all the spots. And could you please walk us through the process while analyzing a spot and deciding what trick to do on each spot? Do you improvise or actually sketch out a plan? And who picked the name Cardiac Arrest and why? P.S. The sweat stands on the metal beam was sick as fuck. That first part, though. Do you still hound people down for their clips? Because Justin was notorious. I went through it. Mike Torres went through it. Anytime you film anything at Justin, on the trip home, he texts you back, can you send me the clips? Can you send me the clips? Because he has to have all the clips in his possession. He has an OCD about it. He must have it. He must direct as much as possible. Even though he knows nothing about filming or editing, he has to direct it.
What Austin said. That's basically, you just answered everything. Yes. The answer is yes. Unfortunately, I'm very set in my ways. I'm old. I'm Italian, So yes, I complain about camera angles. I try and give my input. Ultimately, he's either gonna tell me to go. He's not gonna listen to me, or he's just gonna, like a security guard, just give in. Okay. So if he gives in, he gives in, or he picks. He knows what he's doing. Cardiac arrest, I could only imagine that he picked that because I was basically about to have a heart attack, that this edit didn't come out. So I'm assuming that's why that name is there. Who knows? Maybe he'll tell me, whatever. Am I still like that with clips? Yeah. I think that was Austin. That was your question. But look, my only thing is like, I want it to come out just so we can almost work on the next thing. You know what I mean? Like, this is out. Okay, now we get to work on the next thing. It gives me another, and I use this word a lot. Like, I was talking to Raf recently, and like we kept using purpose, right? So like an edit is just a purpose. Like, it gives you a purpose. It gives you a reason to do something, right? So it's like, okay, we get to go out and have a great time because of this, right? So if this comes out, we get to work on another one. And if like a competition is coming out, there's a reason to go travel and go on another one. But in terms of like the spots, I like to pick spots. I usually know what I want to do when I get to a spot. Like, I already know what's going on. With the help of him and whoever else is there, like we can push on it. But I guess I'm pretty controlling, which is probably why I'm single. Yeah, I'm pretty controlling. Yeah. I think this is going deeper into my life now. Yeah, I'm pretty controlling. Yeah.
Now your mom's definitely gonna call in.
No, Jesus, but Mom, don't call in. I don't want to have her call in right now. Don't let her call. Like,
I think we're past that. We had an opportunity and we missed it. It's okay.
So that was all for the Patreon. There's other comments and there were no other questions. We do have some super chats though from your boy Andy Lou, who asks.
Yep, and shout out. Normally our super chats we split 50% with our guests, but Justin is doing much better than us, so we're not doing that on this episode. So thank you for your super chats.
Actually, it's the opposite. On this episode, Justin doubles up for me and Billy.
All right.
So
exactly. If you super chat on this, Justin matches that.
I will do that. I will match.
This is pretty much the Jump Street fundraiser, aka Justin Brasco episode. But Andy Lou says favorite NYC spot, even if it's no longer there or skatable.
That's a good question.
Yeah, favorite's tough because it could be like favorite because it's fun, favorite because it's great.
Nostalgic.
And it's so funny because I was just talking to Andy recently because they just redid 22. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I saw that. I did see that.
22?
I was disappointed that I didn't bring the Mesmer guys there because I saw that it was back up after we left, and I was like, damn it.
What's 22?
So it's like an old school skate spot in like Long Island. I mean, it's from like live from New York. It's from like '99. Like the 22 crew used to skate it. Like,
so it had its own. So this particular spot had its own crew. Like, these guys would only skate 22, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like from Flushing.
Yeah,
dudes
like
from Flushing,
6 spot, but they would just skate it as down rails. Okay, like the down rails were sick. That was it, right? So it was a down rail. It was great.
Steep.
Okay.
Yeah,
pretty steep. But like, perfect, like perfect rail, more or less, good length. And the thing about it was it had like lopsided steps. So like in the middle there were regular steps, on the other side was bigger steps, right? So I think in like maybe it was Maintain or One or something like that. I had skated it and I did this kind of like walk up thing, stall on one, and then like jumping like topsail down the rail. But I recently said, I was like, why don't we? And actually I just told JP this. I think JP went there 2 days ago or yesterday or something like that. I was like, why don't we just brick the step up to the rail so you can like grind the step and then go right to the rail? There's no reason to not do that. But they just just added in all these other stuff. There's like a down ledge there now. There's like a down rail. It looks really sick. But it's funny that he mentions this question because technically I was just talking to him about a spot yesterday. But I will say my favorite spot in New York is Monkey Ledge. I like Monkey Ledge. I've been wanting to go. I love Monkey Ledge. I think it's the sickest. I've always enjoyed going there.
I feel like that. I feel like you still have like the ultimate trick ever done on it. By the way,
we're gonna do something True Kind Grind was it you wanted to do on it that we never got around to?
Yeah, I would like the True Kind Grind Monkey Ledge, and I've thought about it so many times. I've had, when you can like just picture yourself doing it, like you've already done it in a sense. Like you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh yeah, I did that already. Like I've been wanting to do that. And I think it would be so sick. That is something that I need to do. But yeah, I love that spot. I think it's just like on the water. It's nice. Everyone's nice around there. It's like you can park right there. It's good, very good.
You like it because it's Tribeca and it's a nice area.
Nice area. Everyone's got money over there. Everyone's like fancy over there. But I've always liked it. It's one of those spots where certain people can't skate certain spots. Okay, like for whatever reason, and I don't know the reason for it. I can just skate that spot. Okay, it's a horrible shaped ledge. It's a high ledge. It doesn't make any sense. But for some reason, I just do that ledge. I don't know why. Like I've learned tricks on that ledge, which is Austin. I think when we were filming for like the Truth stuff, whatever it was, I've never done like so. I guess whatever is like illusion back far for whatever it is. I guess you would call it that. And I remember just like we were just sitting there, like I was just doing tricks, and I was like, I don't know, I'll just do that now. Like I was like, all right, whatever, I'll just try and do that. And like I remember just doing that, like I think like first try or something. And I've just always loved that spot. I think it's the best. I don't know. That's my favorite spot.
Yeah, no, like you definitely like the zero leap fish through the kink. Definitely holds the title. I think that was a good one. You like zero leap fish and you regular ollie fish, right?
I ollie fished it way back, like in like razors, like with Shimas or something like that.
Not through the dick though.
Not through the no. The zero fish I did through it. I did zero misfit, zero ollie top porn, that back far thing. The misfit, I was actually, I love that clip, Austin, when you filmed that clip. I think that was oh yeah, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah. So you still think you got True Kind Grind on it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 1000%.
All right. So either JP or Taurus have to go with you to film this.
I wanted to do it this year. I don't think it's gonna happen. It's pretty cold, and I'm coming off an injury right now.
I was saving for the springtime, but I want to see that True Kind Grind on Monkey Ledge.
Me too.
You got any questions lined up, Billy?
Yeah. I got a few. We'll take three, and we'll start with the latest one actually, because I like it. Miguel Jacob, Justin, how do you keep yourself so fit being a 40-year-old dude?
We decided this already. It's lemon water. We figured this one out already. I don't know. I think. Personally,
you don't go to the gym? You don't do anything else?
He has a gym.
I have a gym.
He is a gym.
Look, yeah, I mean, look, I have a gym in my house. I have a sauna in my house. I have an ice bath in my house. I have the means of being in shape. It'd always be silly if I was out of shape, technically. But I do everything. I eat right. I work out, and I personally just think that skating for all these years for hours on end completely just changes like your like dynamic. You know what I mean? Like you're right. You know, like I think my metabolism will always be faster. You know, Billy, you're in great shape. Also, you're in good shape. Like all the skating it can't just be that coincidentally we're all in good shape. You know what I mean? But the guys that have been skating forever, okay, it's very rare to see someone that's like completely out of shape, right? Now, if they completely go off the deep end, that's a different story. But as long as you like maintain it, we've built ourselves a certain way of skating for hours on end. Think about it. When you were like, 16, 17 years old, you'd skate for 12 hours, right. Not even thinking about it, right? Your whole metabolism, your whole, genes have changed. And as long as you stick with it, I think it's pretty simple because our foundation is there.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. I agree with that. All right, we'll take two more. I see two more good questions we'll take, and then we'll go to the section commentary and hopefully get like one of these DL stories pulled out. Eric Universe says, are there any young bucks on the come up that you have noticed that you like?
Listen, well, Billy, you got a lot of guys on your. I love all your guys, and I can talk forever about like the guys on your team. But I'll just talk about mine, for instance. I think Turbo, I think is great. Okay, Sam Leviton, I think he's
Sam's awesome.
That guy's unbelievable.
Not a young guy.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
He's great, but he's not a young guy.
He's pretty young.
How old?
Well, he's the youngest out of us.
What does that mean? Like 30?
No, I mean, I'm waiting for a text, but he's pretty young. I mean, I think he's under 30.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure he's under 30. I mean, the mustache may pull it over, but I'm pretty sure he's in his 20s.
I never knew that. I thought he was like my age.
No. He's young and he's really good and he's extremely consistent. Like he's
and
really.
he does the thing that's going to keep him skating for a long time too. He's already active in the gym and takes care of his body. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's really good. There's a lot of people out there, but like Witzman's really good. There's a lot of young guys. I mean, like USD's got a lot of young guys that are on the team that are good. But in terms of just me seeing, like, in terms of following, Sam's really good.
Okay, I said we're going to take just one more, but we'll take a second. Mike Wellen.
Why are you laughing right now?
I see the question too.
Because Mike Wellen says, "What do you prefer, leg day or chest day?"
No, next. There are stupid
Okay.
questions.
Yeah, this is a good question actually, and I think this is a good one to end it on. I just had it. Where is it? Not there.
You just use an English accent because Wellen. I saw what you did there. You heard Wellen's name and you just use like your little English.
I'm also surprised that you still call him UK Dan. I thought we just established he's Dan by now.
No, he's UK Dan.
Really?
Is UK Dan in the chat?
I thought he was UK Dan because we had Dan Barnes.
Oh, that's right. Turbo's 8 years old. That's right. I forgot about that. He's 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense then. Mustache.
Yeah. Puberty early. Yeah.
Spook Wackadoo, shout out Spook Wackadoo, says, "What trick in the new section took the longest?"
Oh man. What took the longest? Oh my god, I can't. I'm trying to there's a lot of tricks in that section.
Yeah, it's like 8 minutes long.
Yeah. I'm. Unless JP texts me right now. I don't know. I might be wrong, but one that did take a long time and ruined my pants was when I went up the bank. I did the heel roll, top acid, then stair bash in, stair bash in. That took a long time. That took just because that's at an Equinox gym. So the other problem is that I keep seeing leggings, right? I keep seeing yoga pants. That was really causing trouble. It's like because as I'm starting, it's just like yoga pants. And it's like, you can't even focus. Yeah. It's just like an Equinox. I don't know. People don't know Equinox has pretty good looking girls in there, whatever it is. So between everyone going back and forth with Equinox, that plus it was super hot. It was super hot. The spot itself is disgusting. You can't even skate it anymore because there's a bum that has taken over the spot.
Downtown?
Yeah. It's in yeah, but it's in Soho basically, and it's at an Equinox. It's down a side road, and there's been construction there, but now a bum is basically taking it over. That's where he lives. That's that. But it's a really sick spot, and again, it was one of those things, Billy, where I went there with that thought of doing that just because I had skated it multiple times with Torres and this one, that one. Our whole group has gone there. And I was like, what can I do that's different than what I would normally do, right? Because I would normally try and do some type of dark side trick. I'm not allowed to do dark sides anymore. I don't do dark sides anymore. I've gotten ridiculed for it. I'm not doing them. Don't ask me to do them. And I was like, what can I do that's different? And I learned how to heel roll that day. You know what I mean? So it's again, it is annoying when I do that. I will say, I feel bad for my friends. I'll get to the spot and be like, all right, I'm going to heel roll this. And they're like, you can't heel roll. I'm like, I know I can't, but I will learn how to heel roll right now. Take the camera out. I'm ready to go, And it's that's the thing. But I think that took me, I'll say, I don't know, a while, maybe 2 hours or something like that. That's a long time.
That's a long time.
But remember, I was watching. I was also visually impaired, So don't forget about that. But that one.
Well, I think this has been a great podcast. We have almost 2 hours knocked in, which is a little longer than we usually do, but it was good. It flowed naturally. I feel like we got as much information as we could, considering the speed of how quick you talk, and we covered a lot of. I feel like we covered 3 hours worth of stuff, but definitely someone's.
What was that?
So I just want to. Someone wrote, because I'm eating a biscuit as I'm eating, and someone said that the biscuits aren't going to help me in my 40s.
That's correct.
I've been waiting for Austin to turn the screen so I could eat something, but it just kept on me, so I had to eat it.
I never thought about doing that.
Whatever.
I might do the same thing too. Get a little.
I love
fucking,
when you change the screen. I get like a snack in, but whatever.
Get a little slice in
moving
next
forward.
time.
Justin, I just want to say thank you for joining us on the program. Really appreciate you taking the time. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out Justin's latest section. It's called Cardiac Arrest. It's the latest collaboration between him and JP from Butter TV. Looking forward to seeing everything you're doing. I hope you have a very busy year with traveling. I hope to see you out there in the field, and hopefully we can do some stuff together at some point.
Yes.
But yeah, just want to say thank you for taking the time. I really appreciated like a lot of the insight you gave in terms of taking care of your body, in terms of getting up early, the discipline, the motivation to get out there 5:30 in the morning, get those clips, despite what work's in the way, despite what's happening, being motivated, finding the discipline and staying on point, man. So huge shout out to you. And
There
if
he
you
is.
are a Patreon,
Gary's in the chat.
Come
Sorry.
follow us. Oh, Gary. Thank you, Gary. Gary's a great show, guys. Yeah. So, okay, we're going to go to the Patreon now. So if you are a Patreon, please join us there. And we will see you at worst next week.
Thanks, guys.
Do you
This
have any
episode was
shout
our-
outs? Wait, do you have any shout outs? I'm sorry. You don't really ask people if they have shout outs. Shout outs, last words, anything?
Listen, it's look, it was a pleasure being on. Thank you very much. I think it's been a long time coming, shout out to all my friends, Bodega Boys, everybody, and my family, my friends, everybody, even civilians, everybody. Thanks everybody, everyone that's gotten me to this point. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody.
No shout out, Gary and Angela.
I said my parents. I threw them out there. Of course,
Okay.
they're there.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Justin. It's been a ride, I guess.
Thanks.
Don't go anywhere. We're going to do the Patreon stuff. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Later.
Everybody.